G'day everyone and welcome to the Punter Show preview of Beck Caulfield Guineas Day. Well, the footy's finished now. The carnival this is the first day. We're ready to get into it. So I'm joined by Darren Potter. G'day Potts.
Thanks, Juppy.
We're ready to crack right into this card. Big 10 race card. Some really juicy betting races. There's plenty of value there by the look of it. The first couple look a bit of a waste of time, so we'll have a little bit of a later start, but it should be a great day, shouldn't it?
Absolutely, mate. It's mouth-watering, Juppy. I just can't wait. It's a bit, for me personally, I assume it works well for the club, but I think the 1 o'clock start's a bit, it means a very late finish with 10 races. We're after 6 o'clock, but that's a small complaint about what's a fabulous card, and I think there's, as the day goes on, there's some good favourites there to oppose, which means that we can bet around them and hopefully find some value and things run our way, a few winners.
Well, the club's reasoning for that is so they can simulcast the races into Asia, and apparently it's the peak betting time. But I know if you speak to most punters that turn over money by 6 o'clock, they're ready for tea and they're ready to knock off. So it does make for a bit of a long day, and I'm glad I'm not there trying to kick them out after 10 races at 6:30 on Saturday night, because I'm pretty sure they would have had plenty of these sponsors' product. Yeah,
but on the other hand, it's much better than last week where we had a weekend that was just too full. But, anyway, we're fresh for this one. I feel really good about the card, and can't wait.
Weather and track, Potts. It's been we were really hot earlier in the week, but we haven't had any rain. I'm sure Jason Kerr's kept the water up to it, and he's had a couple of cool days now. It's been a little bit breezy, but not too bad. So the track should be perfect.
Perfect, and I would say perfect drying conditions. I love Jason Kerr as a track manager. He's one of the ones with enough runs on the board that he doesn't succumb to the pressure. Mick Woody's in the same boat really, and he's doing a great job also. But I'd say Jason Kerr's getting pressure to water this track, and he obviously would have had to on the really hot days earlier in the week. But I've noted that in his comments for this meeting, he's put in the weather thing, he's put storms, which I think gives him an out.
Yeah, that's the get out of jail free card.
Not to overwater it. So I think we can expect a track that will be dry, that will race pretty close to, they'll be running good times, which means that the on-pacers will have some sort of an advantage. And if it does dry out, that advantage will get more significant as the day goes on. So the other alternative theory is that it's overwatered and the inside gives out, but I think that's very unlikely.
I think with the 3 days coming up now, and he's already had 4 meetings in the last 3.5-4 weeks, he's not going to want to be putting too much water on it. And from a punting perspective, we'd rather have it on the dry side than potentially having bias. It just means the form's a bit easier to do. Yeah,
absolutely. No, so I think that we can go into it with a pretty clear mind as far as the track's concerned. The fastest horses will be very hard to beat at this meeting.
Beautiful. Well, we kick off with the English Debutant Stakes over 1,000 metres. It's a 2-year-old. They're all unraced. There's probably bits and bobs around for it, but Potts, I think it's going to be too hard to do anything with this race, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not even going to have a look at it, Juppy. There's too much unexposed information here for me to get involved. So.
And every trainer seems to have a champion in the race, so they're all spruiking them. That takes us quickly onto the second race, which is the 1,100 metre Scalacci Stakes. Lankan Rupee's currently $1.30, which so it should be because he's up against basically a bunch of walkers. He's dodged it. This was all brought about by Grand Final weekend being a week later, so I think the program was meant to be Moya 2 weeks, Scalacci 2 weeks, Manicato 2 weeks, Darley, but it just means that this race is pretty much legless, isn't it?
Oh, it's just a gift to Mick Price and the connections of Lankan Rupee. $1.30 looks like the right price. So 2 of his best ever performances have come at the 1,100 at Caulfield, and this is his sort of situation. He'll just dominate this race. So.
Yeah, and there's literally nothing there for him to beat. So
nothing.
So,
the only one that's got credentials is Shiraz, and he looks to me like he's gone over the top. So
he's 550 in the market, but you wouldn't want to be taking that sort of price.
No. For those that are desperate to have a bet, I'd be betting around him to find the Quinella horse. So I just think he looks to me like I'd be amazed if he can produce another good one.
It just would have been nice if we can all look forward to the Manicato and the Darley then when all these 3 or 4 of them all get together. And
so what is the word on Exafir? Is he going to dodge them, or is he going to go there? What's the latest?
Well, you'd think that they'd actually want to go to the Darley because they sponsor the race, and I think they'd love to win their own race, but I think they'd also like to take Coolmore's money, and it's the easier option. It depends on whether they want to make him a dual hemisphere stallion, I suppose. If they want to take him over there and do that, then you if you want to really put your credentials, if you think he's good enough, I'd be putting him in against Terra Vista and Blanken Rupee and Buffering and Chautauqua, because as Vince said to me on Tuesday, those horses still have to find the mark of where they were last spring, whereas he's already 4 lengths probably above that benchmark already.
Yeah, I think there's 3-year-olds around at the moment that could be more dangerous than the older horses. Obviously, Chautauqua is a hard horse to beat at Flemington, right? So I'm not... But Terra Vista's, I think he's just sort of struggling to regain his best form. He might get there, but there's some 3-year-olds coming through that could be terribly dangerous when you get to that race. But anyway...
And also, it just shows how lucky Vancouver was to get away with that golden slipper last year.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see him come up and see them clash, because I think they're both... You know, it's a bit... to me, it's like the Piero and All Too Hard situation, but it's just not to be. Didn't happen.
You'd just love to see him come back, wouldn't you? Yeah. Race 3 is the Thoroughbred Club Stakes over 1,200 metres. We've got Harlem River $4, Serenade 10, Miss Gidget at 12, Secret Agenda 4, Fedora at 11, Invincible Heart 9, Serene Majesty $8.50, $9 Coco Adol. Looks a pretty even race by the betting there, Potts.
Yeah, look, I'm not comfortable with the current recent form. Secret Agenda was good first up against the males at Sandown, but I thought she was pretty plain there at Moonee Valley when Take Pride just handled her. There was a bit of bias on the track, but I thought Secret Agenda had every hope. Fedora was well backed in the same race. I backed her, and she came over from Adelaide with good form and was absolutely hopeless at Moonee Valley, so I'd need to see her do something before I chimed in again. So I'm going to have to let both of those go. I'm not a fan of Serene Majesty. She looks a bit hollow. Miss Gidget's only a bit of a horse. Coco Adele looked like she was finished at the end of 1,000 in Adelaide last start. Serenade's, you know, she's okay, but sort of needs everything to go right for her. So I'm sort of, you know, looking around all this current forms. I'm looking to the fresh horses, and Harlem River just completely jumps out at me. Like she finished last prep with a really big win in Brisbane. And she's come back in and trialled like lengths better this time in. She actually looks like quite a good filly to me. So I think, you know, Black Shin will just go straight forward here, could take control of the race, and you know, I think she'll be winning. So.
And that's Gay's modus operandi, isn't it? Just go forward, and the track looks like it'll suit it too. Yeah. So those trials were a little while ago. So she was ready to go a while ago. I think she's been waiting for this, and when Gay puts Blake on first up, it's go time. So everything looks in order here for me for Harlem River. The other horse I want on my side is a filly called Arada. I've got a lot of time for her. She's resuming in her second prep also. She did some really nice things last prep, and her recent trial, she just, like last prep she was getting right at the back. In that recent trial she jumped straight on the bunny. So I like, you know, she's showing that she's ready to go. One of Mark Lambourne's pearls, and Jimmy Cassidy is the right booking for her because he'll give her a squeeze. Yeah. And I think she's good odds. So I think she's $18 in the early play, and I think taking that price is a good idea. Race 4 is the Perry Cutton Weekend Hustler over 1,400. We've got Amavacio $6, Rugged Cross $5, the Bowler $3.90, $7.50 Good Value, $11 Richie's Vibe, $12 Messire, $11 Pago Rocket, and $6.50 Tristram Sun. Another sort of evenish race too, again.
Yeah, one of these races full of older horses that most of them are sort of seen better days and they're struggling to regain their former glories. There's no leader here. In a previous life, the bowler used to lead. Yeah. He looks like he could just control this race and just win it, like really. So it'd be interesting to see what their tactics are here, but I would think if he's ridden with, you know, with a bit of intent, he's the horse to beat. He's third up, 2 good runs under his belt. Last prep he was, you know, he just kept putting run after run together. So to me, he looks absolutely the horse to beat. The other horse here that can sprint well off a soft tempo is Amavacio. He can be a bit hard to catch, but he's a backable price. I think they've got a bit of a margin on the rest. The rest is looking a pretty tight old bunch to me. So they're the two I'm interested in.
I'm not sure who's going to ride Amavacio now that Bowman got suspended.
Well, they got that really. So Bowman's not able to ride.
Yeah, he got 8 meetings earlier today or yesterday or something. I saw on Twitter on the way in.
Oh, right.
Because I see Joe Pride's booked J-Mac to ride Terra Vista.
So in Sydney, normally they can keep their bookings, but they
he may well still have to keep it. In fact, that'd work. That'd be right, wouldn't it? Because then he'd have the 8 meetings after this weekend.
After this weekend, I would think so. But anyway, I'll check that out. I'll have a look at it anyway, because I've found him all day here on quite a few horses.
Well, he is riding really. He's going super in Sydney, isn't he?
He is.
Race 5's the William Hill Herbert Power over 2,400. Prince of Penzance is $11. Sartorius $12. Amrilar $3.40. Escardo back on the short back up from last week $20. Excess Knowledge $7.50. Bohemian Lily $4.40. And the rest of the double figures there, what?
Yeah, I think the market's got this right. Amrilar and Bohemian Lily completely stand out. They went up about sort of $7 Bohemian Lily, which was a good price. It's been well and truly taken. Yeah. But so Amrilar, they look to me like they'll just go to the front and they'll have pretty good control and they'll just dominate this race because they've got a significant class edge on the rest. Amrilar is stepping up to the 2,400, but he's on the back up. I mean, he's coming through. He started equal favourite in the Turnbull.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty good reference for what is a massive step down in class here. So
yeah, it's not exactly a vintage Herbert Power, this one, is it?
No.
It's not. I don't think the Caulfield Cup winners or any other staying feature is in this race for the rest of the carnival, I don't think.
Well, the only one of these that's got any hope of winning the Caulfield Cup is really Amrilar. Anyway, I think Amrilar and Bohemian Lily are the two that'll fight it out. I want to back both of them. I couldn't really find a third pick. Probably Sartorius, but I think they're certainly having problems with him.
Well, there's still enough percentages in the market for us to do that, so it looks a really... you're probably getting more percentage of the market at a much cheaper rate there, so it looks the way to go. Race 6 is the Ladbrokes Caulfield Stakes over 2,000 metres. Criterion $7.50, Faulkner $4.40, Happy Trails $12, Contributor $8, Pornichet $5.50, Entirely Platinum's $41, Kermadec $2.90 and $11 Mongolian Cart.
Small field, but a good race. I suppose Pornichet and Entirely Platinum will go forward. The only other candidate, I suppose, is Criterion, but I don't know what they're going to do with him. He's sort of first up off a short break from a trip to England. I don't know what to make of that.
Well, he has got the DF though, hasn't he? He's got the different form. I mean, he's got the Golden Horn form, and that's probably nearly the best form in the world. So, but it's whether he's travelled up. He's been up for a hell of a long time, hasn't he? I know he's been in quarantine and all this sort of stuff, but he's sort of been in work for.
I suppose the betting will tell the story with him because, like, if you would assess him at the level when we last saw him at Randwick when he won the Queen Elizabeth, well, he'd be favourite, but I can't get him anywhere near that, and I'm happy to let him go. To me, because you're talking about Faulkner and Kermadec, who are absolutely peaking, and they're two of the better horses in the country. So Kermadec's the best 4-year-old in the country, so that makes him the horse to beat. And Faulkner's on his home track, third up. He's off the 1,800 metre run, which I think gives him an advantage over the horses coming down to Sydney off the mile. So, I wouldn't be able to find a lot between Faulkner and Kermadec, and they're really the only two horses on the back. I think the margin between Kermadec and Pornichet last start in Sydney was flattering to Pornichet because Blake Shin rode Pornichet perfectly and Glenn was fucking all over the place on Kermadec. God knows what he was up to. And if he had got beat, like, it would have been... Can you imagine what Twitter would have done?
There would have been a mild blow up, I think, Potts, if he had got beat. And
now, I did watch with interest your conversation with Vince about Contributor, and Will makes the point that the last two sections last start, Contributor and Faulkner's were identical. But to me, Contributor's just struggling to get near these top horses at the moment. Until he does, I'm not going to... I mean, I've been foolish enough to back him at his last two runs, and I won't be chiming in again until I see him compete with them.
Yeah, and he's got to come up to that level, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Race 7's David Jones NBCF Toorak Handicap over 1,600, time-honoured Toorak Handicap. Now we've got Lucky Hustler $5, Stratum Star $7, Strawberry Boy $13, $4.80 Disposition, $9 Noble Protector, and the rest of the double figures.
Great race.
It is a good race, isn't it?
Race. So you got Strawberry Boy and Jacqueline Bay drawn wide. They'll just power across and off they go, running along at a really strong tempo. Kenja Wood will just trail along behind them. And then you've got horses like Stratum Star, 9th Legion, Labaz, Naval Protector and High World, sort of, you know, making sure that the tempo keeps going. So this will be a significant test of both speed and stamina. So I think the horses that, you know, are strong at the mile, that, you know, can get beyond the mile are getting to be advantaged, and they're the ones I'm looking for. So straight off the bat, I think Lucky Hustler is he's really a 1400 metre horse that just gets a mile. And he's drawn inside, so I'm not saying he's no hope. I think I've marked him $9, so he's in there with a chance. But I'm happy to bet around him in this market. I can't fault this position. He'll get into the sweet spot here, into Vince's sweet spot between sort of 5 and 8 lengths off the lead pace. He's a 4-year-old. He's lightly raced. He's got a cracking record. He's in the right spot. He'll just do everything right again, and he'll be in the finish. So I think you've got to start with him. Stratum Stars, you know, he's sort of about the right price, and he's thereabouts, so you won't be, you know, too far away from him. Kenja Wood, I think, is a value runner. This is his perfect scenario. Trailing a hot speed, he'll sort of be thereabouts on the turn. He won't give in. He'll keep going. Yeah. So he'll sort of set a mark that has to be beaten. What about Naval Protector is the hard horse. I mean, she is, like, in Vince's opinion of this horse is that she's capable of reproducing figures similar to Sunlight. Right, so it means you have to have a close look in a race like this. She's not set up well. She's second up off an awful run where things just went wrong for her. So she's meeting a bunch of horses that are coming in off a really good race platform for this race. Yeah. And she's got no platform, but I get the feeling all along that what Robert Smearton's wanted to do is to find a fast run mile race and let her settle sort of 4 to 5 lengths off the pace. And that's when we see the absolute best of her. So
don't give up on my $26 I took for her at the Cox Plate yet, or?
No, I wouldn't give up. I wouldn't be excited.
I'm not excited at all, but giving up. But yeah, she just seems to have, like, we know she needs ground and she needs a fast pace.
Yeah.
So
personally, I think she'd be better off on pace dominating races, but maybe that's, you know, I could be wrong. Robert Smearton could be absolutely right. But anyway, this is his opportunity to test his theory. She's going to be able to just naturally fall into a position about 5 lengths off the pace, and it'll be hot, and we'll see what she's got. This will be.
I'll know after.
Yeah, you'll know. You'll know whether just to burn your ticket or not. Yeah. So, but I think she's at a price where you can back her. So.
Yeah. She's certainly one you probably don't want to have against you. She's sort of got to be on your side.
There's a stack of chances here, though. I mean, Jack and Obey's a rough hope. High World's definitely got a chance. I couldn't completely rule out LeBaz, although I think he struggled to win it. He might run a place. Even Hofgarten's got a fluke as hope.
He's got to come up a level, but there is possibly that improvement in him to come up to the level, isn't there?
When a race like this, a horse sort of pinching ground on the fence, sort of treating their way into it, can
especially
if
they fan coming around the turn, he might get the split there for him to get through with the cheap run.
It's low percentage, but I'm saying it's possible. You know, even Akavaroon, he had a flat run last start. He's not hopeless. Abide with me. There's a few good judges around. I know that really like to run at the 1400, and I couldn't find her here. I think she'll sort of struggle to be close enough, but you know, I can't say she's not. She's definitely a chance. So. A lot of chances, great race, looking forward to it.
How good's this time of year for that? When you get these races where there is a stack of chances and...
You can back 4 or 5 of them and have a good book going for you, you know. So.
Race 8 is the Schweppes 1000 Guineas. We've got Pasadena Girl 420, Miss Gunpowder 550, Jamaica $9, Badawaya is $6, Stay With Me 460, and the rest are double figures. This is actually, like, it's as Jake Norton said on the radio on Monday, and Matt reiterated, it's a small field for down here, but there's not too many that are missing from this race, is there? Like, no. These are the real good fillies. Yep,
absolutely. And God bless the trainer of Take Pride for having to throw up the stumps here, because he's going to stop Miss Gunpowder and Craig Williams dropping the ankle like they did in the prelude, which turned that race into a bit of a joke. So Take Pride will go forward, Miss Gunpowder will come across and chase her. Jamaica not far away. I think if I was riding Bardawea, hopefully Froggy does it. I mean, she's the one that's got the solid foundation here. She's had more runs. She's had the 1600 metre run. She's on the back up. she's seasoned enough to work at the start and be strong at the finish. So he really should come across with Jamaica and try and get on pace.
And that's sort of how he likes to ride too, isn't it? Where he gets up there and...
Yeah. I mean, it's tricky at the 1,600 metre start at Caulfield because you don't want to work up the hill. But his alternative's not good, so I think that's his best chance of winning this race is to get up in the first four or five. So I think they'll probably run a tempo, just above even, which should give them all their chance. I've just sort of made the case for Butter, where she's the one I want to back. I think she had no luck in the race at Moonee Valley. That Stay With Me won, and Pasadena Girl ran well in. Then she went and got the soft kill at Pakenham. Last week she beat the good filly of David Hayes really well on her merits. And the 1,600 metre run, the fitness edge, I just really like her. I think she probably should be favourite, and she's not. So I'm happy to take the current price about her.
She ticks a lot of boxes, doesn't she? The short backups also, the old...
When all the others are coming through that Pox race where they drop the anchor, that doesn't help them. No. It never helps them. I don't know why... I mean, I'm sure the ones, the connections of Miss Gunpowder, think they were very clever. They probably were. But I don't think it certainly didn't help the other horses behind her.
No, and she'll probably get fanned out on Saturday.
It's hard to mark her long because she could get the same situation again. Take Pride sort of makes it unlikely, but Pasadena Girl to me is the second pick because she's the filly with the most talent that's been aimed at this race.
Yep.
I think in a perfect world, Peter Moody would have preferred one more run. I think he would have liked a fourth up into this, but third up's not bad, and so I want her on my side. That's Huey again. Stay With Me. She was third up last start. I know that race they stopped and started, but she was a bit plain. So I'm a bit cold on her. I'm not. She's clearly got a chance, as does Jamaica, and you can't completely rule out Miss Gunpowder. And Payroll's the roughie that could pinch its way into this race and could be dangerous.
It's the one that I'm going to have to put into the quaddie, I think.
Yeah, it's a sneaky one in the quaddie, I think. Jumpy, that'd be about right. Yeah.
Race 9 is the Beck Caulfield Guineas over a mile. We've got Press Statement, 240. Everyone's raving about him. Ready for Victory, $8. Dalciello, $9. $15 Bonorum, $13 Bassett, who's going for the rare double for Paul Green. He part owns Bassett and coached North Queensland to the premiership win last week, so that'd be a rare double. Tazino's $12, Tulsa from the Wide Gates $11.
Okay, what a great meeting this is. Just keeps giving, doesn't it? I mean, we've already talked about all these great races, and you get to race 9 and you're confronted with another sensational race. Yeah. So you've got to start with Press Statement. So no question, he's a nice horse, right? Yep. But he's not Exosphere. To me, he's been priced as if he is Exosphere.
Yes.
And he's not. Okay, so first prep last time, he went to Queensland, third up, primed in the mile race.
Yep.
Bassett went there off 1,200 metre run, and Bassett started shorter than him.
Yep.
And there was only a couple of lengths between them, and Bassett didn't have much luck there. So that to me just pulls Press Statement back a little bit. That's the first step there. The second thing is you look at the map of this race, and there are a number of horses that are going to push forward. In what order, it doesn't really matter. There doesn't appear to be a spot for Press Statement to slot into.
Yeah.
So the logical situation for him here is to sit probably 3 wide, like if he doesn't happen to slot in. Probably on the back of something, which might be okay, but it might not be okay. If this track dries right out, and the leaders are kicking, 3 wide with cover is not going to be a good position to be in.
And does he want to be working up the hill?
Exactly. Well, there's no, to me, it's not an easy situation for him. And right now, given the information, by the time the race comes around, if things have fallen his way and that's a good spot and the inside's giving away or whatever, then 6-4 might be a reasonable price. But right now, it's not a reasonable price. I think the first thing I should have said about this race is it's going to split opinion.
Yes.
There are going to be people that are just going to think Press Statement's an absolute moral.
Yeah.
But then there's going to be an equal amount of people that think, he's not really him. There's a few issues here.
And there's value in the others.
Let's look for the others. Let's see what we can find in the others. So I'm in the second camp.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that Press Statement's about a 4-to-1 chance, given the current information that we've got in front of us. And I'm certainly happy to bet around him. So, first of all, if Bassett wins, P. Moody, you'll get the award for the training effort of the day. Yep. Second up for an 1100 metre run. Right, but at the odds that he is, to me, he's easier to have on your side. You know, just I'm not going to lose if he wins. So
yeah,
I think he's probably the most talented 1400 to 1600 metre horse in this race.
Yeah,
it's coming around a bit too quick for him. And Peter Moody's got no choice but to have a crack.
Yeah, if it was on Cox Plate Day or something, and you could have had one run this week and fortnight into that, then it would have been.
Well, I would have thought he probably should have run last weekend and backed up into this, but I don't know if there was a race last weekend. Probably there was so many races, who knows? But you know, that's second guessing Peter Moody.
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing. I'm sure this horse has been his project. No stone will be left unturned. He'll be given every chance to get the mile. So at the $13 or $14 around, I think he's easy to have on your side. The horse that's to me best set up here in a race that's going to have tempo, so it's going to be a test, is Sovereign Nation. He's on the back up off a win, and he's got the mile run. So 20 to 1 is a big price about him. He's got to find a couple of lengths, but he's only having his fourth run. So,
and he wasn't beaten far by Bonorum.
Well, he ran up to win that race, and he ran out of fitness, which made perfect sense. And then he won the race at Moonee Valley, which I think could possibly be a stronger race than it looks on paper. I think the second horse there has really got something to offer. So, I'm not sort of, Sovereign Nation's got questions to answer here. He's got to step up a little bit. But I'm saying at 20 to 1, it's easy to back.
You'd rather take 20 to 1 about the questions being answered than 6 to 4 about the questions being asked about press statement.
Yeah, or equivalently, I'd rather take 20 to 1 Sovereign Nation than $8 or whatever it is ready for victory, hoping that blinkers are going to switch it. So, I mean, where's the evidence for that? Maybe it will, but then the horse just doesn't look like it's going to me.
Yeah.
So he's not. I'm not saying he's hopeless here, but he's looked a bit wishy-washy ever since the slipper when he ran off the track to me.
He doesn't look like he's come up.
Yeah, so I just, I concede that the horse might be desperate for the blinkers and it could just do the trick, but $8 does nothing for me. Bonorum's a really honest horse. I think he'll run well again, but I sort of feel like he'll get beat, but he'll run well. The ones at really big odds that I'm going to have a little spec on, Snoopy's last two runs, 2 starts ago, he SP'd favourite in the race Bonorum won and never saw daylight. And then at Caulfield, he was in the early speed battle when they were going 10 lengths above average, and he did come back out of it and got a good run after that, but he only got beat the neck or whatever. I think he's big odds. I think Lizard Island's got the run to sort of pinch through on the fence. Again, he's another one that's big odds. The horse I've gone around through all this race and I've missed the horse that I've tipped on top. The horse that I really like in this race, that I really want to back to beat the favourite, is the Kiwi Dalciello. It went 10 lengths above benchmark when it wasn't fit at Caulfield. My guess is that was a deliberate tactic to get the horse fit.
Yep.
He kicked 2 lengths clear well into the straight.
Yeah.
And he knocked up late, which made perfect sense. I think they'll ride him with a sit here, probably 2 to 3 lengths off the lead pace. And my gut feeling is he's a talented horse, and he'll be a long way in front of Press Statement turning for home, and he'll give Press Statement something to chase. And
he's sort of got that form around Bonorum and Sovereign Nation, so you sort of have them. You have to have them sort of together, really, don't you? Because his form matches up pretty well with them.
Well, just watch the run. I mean, he started $19. But however, as Dalt's told us, there was a giant Kiwi bloke running around the ring, backing this horse with cash, which probably tells you that it's a horse with unexposed talent, and he'll be so much better for that run. He really did something there. He's led going way too quick, and he's led to the 100-metre mark. And
he's only just blown up. And Tulsa obviously has to go all the way back from the gate pots, and he's just going to have to. Has he got the talent if he'd drawn a gate to be there? But it's just the way the map's panned out. He's just not going to be able to get into the race.
That's the way I'm seeing it. He's just going to get too far off him. He's a horse with real talent, obviously, but he's got a terrible racing style at the moment, and not suited to a horse drawing wide on the track.
Yeah.
A horse like him needs to draw a middle gate or even an inside gate, something. Even then, I don't know if he's got the toe to... I think he'll be a really good horse next prep.
Yeah.
So, if this prep doesn't destroy him, but anyway...
It's a cracking race, that, isn't it?
It's a beauty. I mean, it'll be really interesting to see what happens in the betting with Press Statement.
Can you see many of them backing up in a fortnight into the Cox Plate pots, or they'd have to find a bit, wouldn't they?
Yeah. This is looking like a hot. It depends what happens with the overseas runners. I don't know, but I can't. There's not a 3-year-old at the moment that to me is screaming out Cox Plate yet. So.
There's not a Piero or an All Too Hard or one of those sort that you go, yeah, he's rubber stamp, put him in there.
Yeah, no.
It just seems like an even race with some reasonably talented horses that by the look of them are all going to be better next year if they're all still in work.
Yeah, so from the start when we first started doing this preview show, I've been saying from then that the Melbourne 3-year-olds, colts, have been struggling and they're a long way behind the Sydney ones. Well, they started to catch up with the Bassett race.
Yep.
And the 2 Bonorum races, they've been run at really strong tempo, so that's given them a chance. That's elevated a lot of these horses, and I think the gap has closed significantly. And the race that Press Statement is coming off, okay, so the Golden Ray is great, like all ticks there, no issues. But then the race he won when he was $1.40 or whatever he was.
Yep, and beat Shards.
Beat Shards and Regoose. I mean, Shards and Regoose are completely despised here. They're given absolutely no chance.
Yeah.
So to me, that's for Press Statement to be a legitimate 5 to 4 chance here, they need to be 10 to 1 chances.
Yeah, and they're not.
And they're not. So, great race. Mouth-watering race.
Yeah, and it really is the highlight of the day.
Yeah.
On to the last race. Race 10 is the Cape Grim Beef Stakes Northwood Plume. And if Cape Grim want to send us some of their product, Bots, I'm sure you and I would be happy to give it a home. So that's some of the best steak you can get your hands on. On to the last here. This is... for the mares, in style 950, Bring Me the Maid 6, Whale 480, Politeness 320, You Greet 10, and $9 exclusive last down the bottom.
Yep. Okay, well, race 10, so the pattern of the day will be really important here. Like the favourite is a back marker, so if they're running on out wide, Politeness will start favourite. If they're not, she won't start favourite, and she's pretty short at the moment. So, she'll barely be a chance in this on a leader's advantage track. It'll be very hard for her to win it. So I think it's an interesting market at the moment. So it'll all change depending on how the track's playing. The other horses in the market were Whale. She's got a hope. I haven't really got a handle on her. She's sort of she's one that's never really put a whole race together.
Yeah.
She put some of her performances are. I mean, she maps quite well here, so I sort of can't get rid of her, but I can't really get her to the market price. Bring Me the Maid is another one. I would rather have her on my side because her best performances, if she produced her best here, she'd be the horse to beat. But her best performances are right-handed, the Sydney way, on wet tracks.
Which is
so here we are, Caulfield on a dry track and.
Which, if it is warmish and the winds, like we saw it on Friday night at Moonee Valley, it got to a firm 2 by the end of that meeting there, and the same thing, like it could be getting very dry out there by 6:15 on...
yeah, absolutely.
Especially if he doesn't put that much water on it, because he thinks that the storms might roll in.
Absolutely. So, I think she'll probably get out to a backable price, but at this stage she's a bit short. So I've got to go somewhere. So I'm saying there's no leader here because Danestrom's back from 1400, so if she was in front it'd be a very slow tempo. So the natural leader then becomes In Style, the Kiwi, who is first up off a pretty long break, 260 odd days, but she's a mare with really good talent. That's compared to the Group 1 races over there against males. So she's an on-pacer and she's very hard to get past. I've had a look at a recent trial. Looks like she's in good shape, ready to go. So to me, she's well over the odds here. I think she'll get good control of this race and be very hard to beat. The other runner that really interests me is Your Grit, who's a mare that's never really put it all together. She's started short a lot and never really rubber stamped it for Gerald Ryan. But here she is for Darren Weir. and this is just the sort of horse that Darren Weir gets to travel. So
he turns these sort of horses around, doesn't he? Like he just
absolutely. I mean, the market will tell the story. She'll either start well in the single figures. Like she says, she's currently $10. She'll start significantly short of that.
She'll either be 550 or 26s.
Or she'll be 16, 21 on the way out, and she's not ready and will have no hope. But I'm leaning towards that she'll be fairly well supported here, and she maps well. And if Darren Weir's improved her a couple of lengths and got her ready to go first up, she's very hard to beat in this race. So
that'd be a nice way to finish, wouldn't it?
It would, mate. So, well, it seems an awful long way away, 6:15 or whatever it is on Saturday, but let's hope we're in front coming to this and we can get a good result out of this race.
Well, speaking of being in front, if you got the sets and you're in the chat room on the weekend, Moonee Valley was minus 22 units on Friday night. It was just tough. We just needed a couple of little...
We needed Maze Dream. That was a big
Maze
swing
Dream
for
was
us.
the one, yeah.
So, and that race there, Blake Shin rode Fenway perfectly and completely... He bluffed Brad into chasing Emma Paul too soon. And no, that's fair enough. And so that was the big result for us on the night, and Magna Power not sticking his big head out was a bit expensive. But anyway, it was okay.
But then you turned up on Sunday at Flemington, and that was plus 40 units there. Well, it was plus 40 for everyone else who has half a brain. Buglugs over here missed the $18 winner. Well, he'll slowly learn, but it was a very good set, and especially when it was a bit like Saturday's card, where there are two races that you just got to put the pen through, because there was a 2-year-old race and then there was the Chautauqua race. Yeah. So there wasn't too much you could really do with those, and then just to get out of the rest of it, it was good. That it just looked like that sort of card that we were always going to make money out of.
Yeah, it was good. I think it was a good example of the chat room coming to the fore there, because the set I sent out in the morning won about 15 units, I think, something like that. And one of the races that I bet strongly in was the 3-year-old race with Well-Sided and Stoker coming up from 1,100 metres to 1,400. They were both really soft in the betting. And the RSPs that alerted me to with the Adelaide race, that Celtic Tiger had won, Ayers Rock had run second, and 1 for 1 had run 30. The RSPs had signalled that was a strong race, and 1 for 1 was hard in the market in that race, so we added it to the betting plan.
Yep.
So we got out of that race as a chop out rather than losing on it. And as soon as 1 for 1 won, I immediately told the guys in the chat room to back Ayers Rock and Celtic Tiger in the thing. That's the $18 winner that you missed because you're at the pony rides.
Yeah, because I was taking the kid for a pony ride, and that was a question that someone did ask in the chat room, wasn't it? It's like, how do we reduce the units? And the simplest way is if let's face it, if you're getting this, you should probably have a Betfair account, and it's just a matter of having something small back on that, just to balance your position. Balance your position out a little bit.
If I'm putting on race morning horses that are first up or whatever, and then they're completely hated in the betting, like it makes some sense to reduce your position on those horses. I try to keep it to a minimum. Because it's not for everyone laying horses back, particularly if you're paying a fine. Like, it's a bit, I mean, it's like, to me, it's the hardest thing in punting. You know, because I've got no choice, I do it, right? But for people that are just having a bet on a Saturday, they might not want to do that, and I understand. So we try to keep laying horses back at a minimum, but sometimes it really does make sense, and it allows you to take the unit from that horse and put it on another. So.
Well, I reckon, and I've been there from, like yourself, Potts, from the start of the chat room, and I reckon that was probably only the second time that I can remember where we've said, there was one, I think, where you said where it was a 5 or 6 unit bet, and you said, right, no, we're off this now completely. And there was that one, and there wasn't too many other examples that I can remember. So it rarely happens, but also that's why the chat room's there. It's a dynamic environment. Things change during betting. Things change when they come into the mountain yard, and either Warren in Melbourne or Glenn and the boys in Sydney see something that we don't like or that we really like. Like, it's easy when it's the other way, isn't it? Where we've got market support and we've got the ticks from the mounting yard, and it's all right, well, this is going, we're adding 2.5 units or something here. Well, then it's easy to shit the chips because it just means you're just betting again. But when you have to put the handbrake on and put it in reverse and go back the other way, then it gets a little bit trickier. But it happens a lot more the other way, where we're adding units on rather than going back the other way.
So we did that with Bartawea. We started off with 2.5 units and we ended up with 4.
Yep.
Because a few just sort of lined up on the day that she was rock solid and she was the horse to back there. So, which you know, when I first did the race, hadn't occurred to me, but the more I looked at the SPs there, the more we wanted to be with her. Anyway,
so make sure you jump on, grab Darren's set for this Saturday. It's going to be a ripping day, and I think it'll be a fat day too. I think we'll really be able to nail this. That also gets you into the chat room. You'll get John's Sydney set as well. Grab the RSPs. They're a really handy tool. But make sure you just jump on and grab Pod's set. And I think you're also going to do a set for Blue Sapphire Day at Caulfield on Wednesday, Pod?
Absolutely, yep.
It'll be a decent meeting. They've pulled the good race off to build up tomorrow's Saturday's card, but there'll still be reasonably big fields. And, and the track will be dry and it'll probably be playing fair, and the bookies will still be betting, and they'll be competitive again. So it's a big weekend coming up, and then we're really into the thick of it.
Can't wait.
It's going to be tremendous. Good luck, everyone. I'll be back on Monday or Tuesday for the IVR review with Vince, and I'll be back this time next week to look at Caulfield Cup Day. Now, that does seem like a lifetime away, but we've got to get through Saturday first. Good luck, everyone. Thanks Darren. Good on you, mate.